What up, New York Giant Nation? It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan, coming at y'all with the Week 6 edition of the True Blue Aftermath. This is the 5-1 edition, baby. Let's go. I believe in my boys. At home against the Baltimore Ravens. I think the New York Giants go out there and we win another tough one, 24-20 against the Baltimore Ravens, man. I think it can happen because I believe in this team, man, and this team believes in themselves. What is going on, Adam, man? How you doing, man? Week 6 in the books for the New York Giants, and as you see, we sent the Baltimore Ravens packing up in MetLife. 5-1 New York Football Giants standing tall after this big Week 6 victory against the Baltimore Ravens. That is two good teams in a row that this New York Giant team has knocked off. I don't want to hear no more about this team can't play with the big boys. This team can play with anybody because they gonna always get the New York Giants' best shot. This team, what they do in the second half, I can't even with this team, man. They make it hard. They make it hard on me sometimes, but it's like, look. They always keep finding a way to get it done, man. What's going on, Almighty Finesse?
Yeah, man, 5-1. Can't believe that. I signed up for that. We already won more games than we did last year. You know what that's called? That's called progress. I don't know if people remember what that word is, but progress is progress, and we sure didn't do that last year. So, Brian Dable, You probably bought yourself an extra year on your contract. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones on the day, 19 of 27, 173 yards, but the two big touchdowns, man. Clutch for Daniel Jones today, man. Coming through in a day where Saquon Barkley, for the most part, was pretty much bottled up. But also in his defense, Saquon, when it came down to it, started making some plays down the stretch, man. He started wearing down his Baltimore defense. So we just got to, like I said, we're lacking it. Well, we lacking talent. We make up for in heart right now, man. Absolutely, man, making up for it in heart and getting the job done. Wan'Dale Robinson already has more touchdowns than Kenny Galladay and Kadarius Toney. So let's go.
Pretty sad.
Pretty damn sad.
The kid comes back. Good for him for playing a solid game. DJ, he's not great. He's never going to be great, but he's gritty and he hangs in there. And at some point, he may not be the franchise guy, but he'll be here for a couple of years. And you're going to get performances like that from him. I can't complain too much. I mean, there are still things that he needs to work on. He's still obviously not a polished passer, but he beat the passer on the other side. What I thought was funny about this game, it felt like I was watching the Giants versus the Giants because it was like the same kind of play calls, the same kind of like trickery, 3 backs in the backfield for the Ravens, 3 backs in the backfield for the Giants. It was kind of the same game, and quarterbacks ended up with damn near the same yardage, and it came down to who would make the biggest mistake in the biggest spot, and that was clearly the Ravens. I don't know what Lamar Jackson was doing. I still don't know what Lamar Jackson was doing. The ball comes to you. You lucked out with the ball rolling to you. Now, all you do is just throw it out, live to play another day, punt, and let your defense take over. What did you do? You threw the ball. You got it picked off. Giants go down and score and basically win the game right then and there. So, I got to give hats off to this team. Hats off to Brian Dable, and hats off to the offense for hanging in there.
I want to give a special shout out real quick. I mean, it's a lot of guys that deserve shout outs in this game. Man. Honestly, it was some good guys making some good individual efforts in certain points in this game, but one big spot, man. Shout out to Kayvon Thibodeau getting his first career NFL sack at the most opportune, at the biggest time in the biggest spot.
Like that's what we got for
in the clutch. He was sniffing close all day. He honestly was. He had that rush going all day. He was getting close. And then he finally got there when it counted the most, man, to seal the.
And you're going to see that a lot more these years coming up. You're going to see Kayvon Thibodeau knocking people out. That's what he's going to do. That's what we got him here. Number 5th overall pick. Good for him. A lot of stuff going on. Your wacky NFL. Atlanta Falcons are 3-3. How did that happen? But
games today, man. The 49ers getting knocked
off. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The Buccaneers losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What is happening?
It's like, what is going on here in the NFL? It's like, well, you know what? Take advantage of it now. Again, the NFL is not really passing that much. It seems like the quarterbacks, except for the elite guys, aren't really doing. I mean, Marcus Mariota is 13 of 14 for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns, plus 6 rushes and 50 yards. I mean, that's crazy stats, you know. And when you think about it, Daniel kind of had the same thing. He was kind of, had simple throws and simple plays. Let's talk about Daniel Bellinger for a minute. We got ourselves a tight
Yes.
end, huh?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We got ourselves a tight end, man. Him and that connection is looking real. It's getting better and better each week, man. With those guys, man, they're definitely on the same page, and it's working out, man. And he can catch the football.
He was well. That was his mo in college. Remember that was he was didn't drop many in college, unlike a certain player named Darius Slayton, who again the dropsies come up. Thankfully these mistakes that are happening with the team, with the quarterback and things like that, don't cost us yet. I mean, maybe in the playoffs that'll happen when teams button up and get better because teams only get better from here on out. The Vikings, they're pretty much a good team now, so I'm not afraid to place anybody, but when we play like this and we don't make mistakes, we can beat anybody. That's what happens in these tight games that we call. It usually comes down to one or two plays. Well, guess what? Two plays that happened, and boom.
Yeah, and then got on the inside Dexter Lawrence being his just usual
He's
disruptive
having an All
self,
Pro year.
man. Oh my goodness, the things he's doing, man. He is making a name for himself, like
Well,
big
the thing is,
time, man.
I like it. I like how they finally put him in a position where he can. Right? I mean, last year it felt like, well, he's making plays, but he's not a real D tackle. Put him over these guys where his strength can be used, and here you are. He's just running guys over like a bulldozer.
Absolutely, man. This the way this team makes adjustments to situations, man. It's just something we haven't seen in a long time here in New York, man. Oh, we've had some stubborn coaches up here, man. The last few years up in New York, man. Some very, very stubborn
Even
guys,
Tom
man.
Coughlin was stubborn here.
Oh,
But you
yeah,
know what? This is the best coaching staff we've had since Tom Coughlin. There's going to be success with this staff. Hopefully not the fossil years. Hopefully more like the Coughlin years. I mean, right now it smells like a fossil year. Remember, I said at one point, Jim Fossil came in with a much maligned quarterback from Duke to make him better. And in the first 5 games, Dave Brown looked like a competent quarterback. Obviously, got injured that year. They go on to go 10-5-1, have a heartbreaker in the playoffs, but then Fossil's career ended with a Super Bowl loss and the meltdown in the playoffs. So hopefully that's not what's happening right here because next year the competition is going to get harder, and we'll see. I mean, Julian Love, I think he needs to be extended. I know a lot of people don't think so, but I think you need to pay him some money. He's a
absolutely.
pretty good player.
He's a damn good player coming up with the Giants' first interception of the season. Even though we all know Fabian Moreau should have had that had that first
Yeah.
interception. You got to make those plays, young man, when you
Well,
get
I
that
mean, we could
opportunity,
easily have
man.
said
But
Mark Andrews should have had that touchdown too. I mean, you know,
absolutely,
went right
as
through
a
his breadbasket.
and speaking of which, let's get. I mean, we've been talking about the good for a little bit here, but it wasn't all good. It was always definitely some things we take away from this game and things we need to improve upon. Kenyon Drake looked like Barry Sanders out there. We just can't allow this guy, anybody, to do what he did to us today. What he did to this defense. He absolutely gashed this defense on the ground. 10 carries for 119 yards and that big touchdown he had. Yeah, we can't allow shit like that. I mean, Kenyon Drake's not even technically their top guy, and he came out
Yeah,
here. And we know he's respectable talent in the league. I mean, he's no scrub, obviously, but he's not. The fact that he's not even their top guy, the fact that he had more yards today than he's had all season combined, was a little bit telling. So just that's something big we got to clean up, taken away from this game, and also Mark Andrews, man, they did their best to try to wreck this game. Those two guys right there in particular, and obviously with Lamar Jackson adds to the equation too. But Mark Andrews, 7 catches for 106 yards. We made it too easy for Mark Jackson. I mean Mark Andrews at times. It's way too. It was times he was just kind of standing in the middle of the field, virtually by himself, and I can't understand how you can allow something like that to happen with a player of that caliber, man. He's got to always have eyes on him and know what's going on, man, and be prepared to try to slow him down and stop him.
well, I guess we our weakness in the defense is what we said it would be this year. The linebackers in the middle, and that's clearly what is happening, right? And we'll see what happens as we go forward. what they'll do. The teams coming up on the schedule are not great, and still got to keep. Winning is tough. Winning is hard, and you got to keep fighting. And Giants got away with some stuff here. I know people are talking about Daniel Jones' great game, but if he throws that pick at the end of the game, we're having a different discussion here.
Well, we
And
are, but let's face it. How did the pick happen? The pick happened because of the penalty. So,
well, I don't necessarily agree on that. I just think it was a the kid got held, and he was lucky that he got held because even John Harbaugh knew. He's like, if you just played your man, the guy was going to throw the ball right to you, and he would have been in position to make the play. So things happen. We got away with it. Daniel came through when he needed to. And again, not another spectacular day. I was hoping he would throw for 250 yards, but I mean that seems to be asking a lot with this quarterback. But he won the game, and at
I
the end of the
mean,
day, that's what you want to do. So
yeah, but
Barkley is banged up.
that shoulder is definitely a little bit of an issue. I'm glad we got a bye week coming up after next week. Get him some time. Hopefully, get through next week and have some time to get him some
We have a
extra
bye week.
rest. After Jacksonville, I believe is the bye week. Yeah.
I thought we played Jacksonville and then Seattle, then bye.
No, I think Jackson. Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. You're right. I think you are right. It might be Seattle and then the bye.
We're only at
And
week
yeah,
6, and
and
I
then
think we
and
have,
then we, and then
have
we go
eight
into
weeks.
Houston. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's after the bye's after Seattle.
Yeah,
But
I mean, we it's going to be good. I mean, Barkley, I hope Barkley, figures it out. I mean, that you have a shoulder injury. I don't know how bad it is, but apparently it's bad enough for him to come out of the game a couple times. And is this something that he's playing with the rest of the year? Who knows? Oh my God, Stephon Diggs is having a fit with Josh Allen right now.
yeah, so hopefully hopefully that's not too serious and it doesn't really. He doesn't cause him to miss any time because I can already hear the fan base now. This man misses so much as a quarter of a game. I can hear the fan base now, absolutely losing their shit. So
Oh my God,
I
Buffalo.
guess so. Yeah, just let's just hope for the best for Saquon Barkley. He still came in, finished the game strong. Like I said, made the good heads up play late in the game instead of running there for that touchdown. He
Yeah, I,
slid
I would have
slid
ran in for
down.
a touchdown. I don't really care at that point. I don't care about being nice. Just blow people out. Get in the end zone. To me, I don't care. Like he's a nicer guy than me. Me, I would have just scored. Who cares? Because
Yeah,
you've seen crazy things happen. God, he slips, they fumble, whatever the case may be. I just get in there, score. Who cares? Make it a game. Put some numbers on there. And he's not, like I said, he's nicer than I am. I would have ran in
I
there and
mean,
danced in the end zone and got my stats up, and
I get it.
you know,
Either way, it's kind of win-win. He scores a touchdown. It's a two-possession game anyway,
game's over.
so it's pretty much still over regardless. Other than some real spectacular shit getting pulled off by Baltimore, but at the same time, by sliding and just getting a fresh set of downs, you ensure the fact that you can just run the clock out, and for 100,000%, no miracles happening today. The game's over.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad we saw a team go toe to toe with us because we're going to be playing these type of games the rest of the way, and then into the playoffs, right? When the teams start to really figure things out, and the Giants right now are a team nobody wants to see, and they don't. No one's really know how to figure it out. I think the Ravens and the Cowboys kind of got kind of a little bit of a blueprint. You can run the ball and play. I wouldn't say conservative, but play with what the defense gives you, and you'll be able to score some points in this giant defense. It's the other side of the football. Not the offense is resilient. They make some mistakes, but they've overcome these mistakes. Penalties, third and 15s and things like that. I will tell you this though, they really don't drop back much. They like to move around in the pocket. This is the first game they really kind of drop back a little bit. But they like to kind of move Daniel a lot. That's when they started to get some success. That first play to Bellinger for the third down, you see him. He's over. He's a little rolled out by Andrew Thomas. That gives you a little bit more of a sight line and a little bit easier read. He doesn't have to go all the way through his progressions. He just gives it to the guy. So they're really simplifying the game for him, and he's playing within the confines of the offense. So it's winning football right now.
I mean, like you said, this offense, like I said, it's not numbers don't jump off the screen at you, man. But like they just make plays when it counts, and honestly, that's really what it's all about too. Because just ensuring that W in the win column, getting that W, That's all it really comes down to. And does like I said, it doesn't matter how you get it. Doesn't matter how many yards you throw for, because as you see, like those guys had more yards than us, but we got the W. We walked away with the W, and that's ultimately what counts. It's not going to always work every week. So I do agree with you on there. You're going to have to sometimes you're going to have to figure some more things out. But right now we're making it work for us, man. Like I said, it's about belief with this team, man. This team, whatever Brian Dable is selling, this roster is buying. They are buying it all up. They going on a full blown shopping spree for whatever Brian Dable is selling, man. I
It's
don't.
great.
I
Like I
would
said,
love
best
to
coaching
be in the
staff we've
locker
had.
room with this guy and hear the things he's saying to these guys, whatever he's got, whatever this whole coaching staff, whatever they're pumping through into these guys, man. I wish I was there to get some of that, man,
Well, you
because
know what
these
it is,
these
I
dudes
think,
are
is
just
the different personality, right? Joe Judge was a little uptight, son of a gun. And he wanted things done his way, taskmaster, yeah, I'm friendly with the players, but I'm the coach, you're the players type of attitude. Brian Dable says we're all in this together, right? Type of attitude. Give your input. The door's always open. Loosey goosey. Now that works when you win, having the loose locker room and everything like that. But when you lose, that's gonna turn quickly. But right now they're winning. It's working. One of the best teams in football. You can't deny that anymore. I don't want to hear what anybody says. Worst 5-1 team. Go ahead. Keep picking against us. We seem to find a way to win every week, and those are the type of teams that end up in the championship games and have long runs in the playoffs. The ones you least expect.
yep, just dangerous, man. Like this game looked like it was pretty much like Baltimore had when they went up by 10. Mark Andrews scored that touchdown.
I thought it was
It looked
over.
like Baltimore was. I thought it was pretty much over, and it was just the inevitable at that point. But once again, the resiliency of this team, man. Just never say die, man. Never quit, man. They got the real eye of the tiger, man. They like this is the real deal, man. Shout out to Big Task at Hand. Thanks for stopping in, bro. Appreciate it. And you're right, this is our house, man. New York Giants, we're not playing right now. We are not playing no more, man. Like I said, everybody, you're gonna have to earn it against the New York Giants. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
and
always earn it.
Baltimore almost did earn it. Like I said, if
Yeah.
they almost got they get that first down on the quarterback sneak, a totally different ball game, right? Totally different ball game. Game's probably over at that point. They get the penalty. They had the bad snap, interception. Game turns on its head. At the end of it. So, the Giants were on the ropes, and when the kill shot came, thanks to whatever was happening, um, they held their water enough to keep themselves in the game. They capitalized when they did. Gary Brightwell, let's give kudos to him. What a great kick return. That was a big play in the game, kind of got us back in the game. Without that, we don't know. Again, we don't know. Baltimore loved having the Giants drive downfield because it seemed like when the Giants drove downfield, they had some troubles here and there. But when they got the shorter fields or the good turnarounds, they scored. So Gary Brightwell finally getting some playing time. You say it every week. Where was he last year?
Yeah, where was he? Because he was on the roster, but he never seemed to get a chance to get on the field. I don't really
Yeah,
understand. Can't figure that one out. But
I don't
yeah,
know why.
this
I mean,
team. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know why. I mean, I like what you said about the coach. I really enjoying him. I'm enjoying Wink Martindale. It's the contagious. The fan base can now believe in this team. There's no like, hey, we're tanking to lose, like that dumb reporter said to do. Now again, you could like I said, if they're not happy with the
Terrible
quarterback,
take.
they'll find a way to get one, right? So, that those things will take care of themselves. Right now, just win and figure it out from there and go from there. Again, we talk about every week. There's about 25 guys on this roster that are going to need to be resigned, and all of them are going to want a little bit more money just because hey, we're winning now. Let's open up the purse strings a little bit. Jihad Ward's playing pretty well. You're probably going to have to sign him. Julian Love, I would not let leave the building. Just me personally. I know you have Dave Belton here, but hey, Julian Love's done nothing but do what you ask, right? He was drafted as a corner, he moved him to safety, he moved him to corner, moved him back to safety, and he's just played solid football. You got to keep those guys.
Absolutely, man. And just the way this team offense is, the one thing about this offense I've noticed all season is the way it responds sometimes too. Like when the other team does go downfield and make plays, like Baltimore goes on a scoring drive, it's almost like this offense then it takes that for the offense to decide, okay, now we're gonna respond back now. It seems like we
Yeah,
can't ever just get off to that quick start and just go out there and take the first shot. You know what
I
I
think
mean?
I think that is strategic strategy because it seems like it happens every week. So to me, I think what they're doing is playing within the confines of the game, keeping it close, and seeing what the other team does, and then out executes them in the second half, right? Because essentially, most teams they try to win their game in the first half, and then play good defense, and it doesn't matter what they do. What I'm seeing the Giants do is they play a pedestrian first quarter, first half, get blown out. And then in the second half, they're drawing up plays or having a different execution plan, and it works out. So I'm thinking right now, maybe that's the strategy in the back of their mind. Hey, let's not get ourselves down in a hole, because notice they didn't really throw the ball downfield. And every time they throw the ball downfield, they have to get those quick plays. That's when they have to. That's when they start to do what you said. Oh well, we need to go respond. Here, let's go respond. And like I said, everyone was talking about these receiving cores. I don't want to hear about it anymore. Okay, they can scheme their way to getting guys open. All right, they can. So let's
Well,
let's
it's been much more impressive the last couple of weeks with that. Obviously, much more impressive.
and
That
Wando
Marcus
Robinson's a
Johnson
gadget
kid,
player. He's good.
yeah, that Marcus Johnson kid, he did drop the touchdown pass, but no harm, no foul. We still scored like a play later anyway. But just that guy. I
Well,
mean,
that's
he's
why he's
like
a
he has
backup player.
potential. He has potential to be a little something in this offense. Keeps getting another with a little bit more reps
He's like a
and
little
David
jitterbug.
Seals. David Seals is back to playing the role he should be playing. As opposed to being like a main guy in the offense like he was the first couple of weeks. He's just be that guy. Come in on a few packages, get open, you make a play. We'll take it obviously, but he can't be that guy you're trying to depend on. A guy you're trying to lean on in this offense.
Yes, and
So
talent will. We lack talent, but like you said, we make it up in heart and playing right. And we're going to meet a team that's going to be better than us, and it comes to a matter of what the matchup is. And we're the best team right now and one of the best teams in football. At the end of this, maybe there's three teams tied for first place. Maybe there's one team tied for first place. But right now, you can only play who can play. Giants are playing well. I can't explain it outside of the coaching staff is just putting these guys and they're believing. You know what it is? It's you got to believe. And if you believe and the coach is not going to yell at you or put you in a bad spot or make you feel good about coming to work and stuff, that changes the whole game. You're more upbeat. You take more time to do your work. Your mistakes are not that big a deal because hey, we'll work through those. We'll get through them. It doesn't matter what it is. And I think those type of things are contagious, right? And the Giants are tired of fucking losing. Let's be honest.
yeah, tired of it. I mean, you got guys on this team that have done nothing but lose their entire NFL career with the New York Giants. I mean, Saquon Barkley has no clue what it feels like to be a winner in the NFL. Daniel Jones has no idea what it feels like to be a winner in the NFL. So this is a new feeling for all of these guys. And guess what? It feels good. They're realizing how good it feels to win football games on Sunday, man.
And
And
yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting to finally be watching a game and have a season where you're not like thinking about, well, unlike me, I mean, I always think about getting better, but not thinking about like getting a quarterback or anything like that next year. Now, again, like I said, you know, the numbers are good, but the numbers at the end of the day aren't going to warrant a big contract. Let's be honest, But for what he's doing for this team right now, there are some things where he has to clean up. He's not the perfect prospect by any means, but he's doing what he's asked to do, and he's making plays and not putting the ball in harm's way. Unlike the other guy on the other side, Lamar Jackson, who completely did a brain fart and tried to be, Superman and try to get the first down because they had it the first time. And had he just thrown the ball away and they punted, again, maybe it's a different story. Maybe there is not a touchdown for them to win the game or, take the lead in 24-20 at that point, and you don't have to worry about doing what you need to do, right? Maybe the game is changed. So that was good to see. That was good to see the defense finally come up with an interception. I mean, it took only, 6 weeks to get one, but finally it came at
six
the time
weeks.
that we needed. Let's hope we don't
But it
get it.
came
Let's
in
hope
the
this is a, floodgate opening up here.
it came at a great time though. It came at the perfect time. We needed it the absolute most. We needed the defense to make a play, and they made one, man. I mean, it was a little assistance with Lamar Jackson making an errant throw. I mean, that's crazy the way he kind of just flung that ball down the field like that. Nothing good usually comes from stuff like that.
Yeah, but
and I'm
usually
glad it worked
usually
out in
for
our
some
favor.
reason they always have magic like that, right? So we watch him next Sunday. He'll make the exact same play. The guy will catch it and it'll be like an 80-yard touchdown. Well, oh, great play, Lamar Jackson, but when it happens like this and the play breaks down, you know, there's many things he could have done. He could have kicked the ball into the back of the end zone. He could have thrown it away. You're already outside the pocket. At that point, I would have just thrown the ball away, punt it. That's the awareness that you need. I think I don't know whether it was the pressure, whether it was like, he just got fooled because Julian Love was baiting him a little bit. I just, that's a play that I expect Daniel Jones to make, not Lamar Jackson.
I mean, look, yeah, it worked out for us, and I'm absolutely ecstatic for that. Another big win. I don't know what to do with this team right now, man. I'm 5-1, and oh man, they are making Sundays good again in my house, man. Cause Sundays have been rough for the
Giants make
last X amount of years, man.
Giants making Sundays good again.
Yeah, man, bringing
And
it
look at
back to
Indianapolis.
the
Wow,
whole damn
Indianapolis.
division, man. This whole
Indianapolis
NFC
is
East.
playing tough. Pittsburgh
I
playing
mean,
tough. There's a lot of tough, gritty teams here. Not a lot of, not that many great games. Like I said, we are again. I think the quarterback will come back to bite us in a playoff game because those are when defenses are going to be like the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Vikings. These teams, they're going to figure it out. They're going to have 17 games worth of tape. They're going to see what's worked out for you. But again, we can't complain when we win. Got a lot to
yeah, I
clean up.
mean,
I'm like you though.
look,
Can we blow a team out? Can we score some points in the first half? We're not
I
sitting here
would
in the
love
second
to
half
see
like,
it.
oh my god, like because that for whatever reason, maybe the Giants are young, but usually you don't sustain coming back every time. That tends to be one of the harder things to do.
Absolutely, and we just that's why I said we can't just keep living and dying by the comebacks every week. But right now, I mean, it's
It's already
working
had
right
kids.
now. I mean, we just make these adjustments and they just come through when it counts, man. I don't like I said I have no idea
You know
what
what it
Dable was
is?
saying to these kids,
They
man.
This is what this team does. You can tell this team is well coached. Why? Lack of penalties on both sides of the football. No mental errors when the game is on the line. They just play. I hate to say this, they play Belichickian football. Do your job, execute the play, do it to the best of your ability. If you're going to get beat, we'll accept you getting beat. We'll accept the fact that Calais Campbell beat Josh Azudu. Big ups to Josh Azudu playing a couple plays. I mean, although he did give up the 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 tackle once Feliciano came back in, who by the way, we're gonna need a center next year. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rain on the guy's
Absolutely,
parade, but he is terrible. Okay, and most of the
yeah,
pressure is coming up the face of Daniel. There are some times where Daniel got to step up a little bit and be a quarterback. And we can nitpick. We can save the nitpicking for Daniel for later in the week, and critiquing of that. But for now, my God, do so. Like this guy every time. Now he's playing hurt. You can tell, but geez, we need a center next year, man. Put that on the shopping list.
yeah. I mean, the fact that when he did go down, was able to Berterson was able to come in and step in, and slide into that spot. I mean, I didn't even know that was part of his repertoire. Honestly, I had no
Well, he
idea
played
that he
the
could.
preseason. He played a little center. It wasn't too bad. But then he got
Okay,
nicked up in then he got an elbow injury, because he was going to be a starting guard. But listen, I know that people want Nick Gates back here. Look, let this five ride out. Don't, or six, five, six, whatever you want to use. I know they use 79. I don't really know who the heck that is, but let these couple guys ride out. Let them get their 17 games in if they can. And then next year, if you want to tinker with the offensive line, fine, tinker with it. You can upgrade. Um, and obviously, you're a winning team. You're going to need to upgrade because those are the type of things that happen when you win. You're going to need to figure out how you can sustain winning. And for the first time in a while, it's exciting to see these guys in the front office putting together this exciting team. They're exciting. They fight to the end. They really are what Joe Judge wanted them to be, right? Joe Judge, you wanted them to be the heart of the nation or heart of the area. Well, guess what? Brian Dable has figured that out. I don't know what elixir he has, but he's figured that out.
yeah, absolutely. And like you said, in the off season, man, when it comes to like free agency period and all that, guys are gonna want to come here and be a part of this New York Giant team now, man. They're gonna like
Exactly.
it's not necessarily just about the money either. They're just gonna want to be here. They're looking for big paydays. a la Kenny Galladay.
Well, well, you look at it like this, right? If you got look at a guy like Jihad Ward, for example, right? Guy who's been bounced around the league. Not he's not going to put up the sack numbers. He's not really a great, linebacker in itself. He plays within the confines of the defense, and he does his job pretty good, right? So a guy like him, maybe you get a free agent and say, hey, you know what? I can resurrect my career with the Giants. They're winning, and then I can nab that bag with another team or whatnot. That's what you're going to really have happen here. Is first off, kudos to Joe Shane for finding some gems. Fabian Monroe, I mean, that guy's played well. He was cut from the Ravens, but he comes here and he's playing well. Jalen Smith, my God, best linebacker on our team. I didn't hear Tate Crowder's name at all today. Where was Tate
Yeah.
Crowder? He was nowhere.
Tay Crowder was having a bit of a rough day.
The defense as a whole, had a rough day. Let's be honest. Yards wise, they were they're good in the two stats that we need to be good in: third down defense and red zone defense. You're good in those two areas of defense, you're going to win football games because the sacks will come at some point. They're just going to. But if you're good at getting people off the field in third down, keeps a offense honest. And let's be honest, the short fields, the turnovers, helped the Giants win this game. Right? That's what you want your defense to do, not just let them go downfield, kick a field goal, and which was the norm. It was like, all right, they went downfield and boom, kick a field goal, went downfield, score a touchdown, went downfield. Like that's why I was nervous when they got the ball with 145 left in the clock. I'm like, man, Lamar Jackson has been gashing us. And, Kayvon Thibodeau squandered that play, and the Giants defense came up big. So kudos to them for sticking with it.
Yeah, big time. Tay Crowder only had 3 tackles on the day, so he was definitely pretty quiet out there, man.
That that guy.
But at the same time, I still feel like overall, since Richard Carr's come on board, he's still been helping Tay Crowder out, playing a little bit, taking some of that responsibility away from him,
Well, he's the leader. I
driving
feel like he's the
around.
leader of the defense. He's only been here a few weeks, but he's the leader of the defense. I want to see what's going to happen. When we play, maybe it's going to be a rematch of the Super Bowl 25, where it's Buffalo versus the Giants. I think you know that would be funny. That would be a funny game to play. But we can dream, can't we? Or maybe who knows? Maybe it's Jets Giants. At the way that the Jets are playing too. They're 4-2. So if New York
Took
football is
care of the
back.
Packers today.
Oh man, they took care of them. This is what I'm saying. This season's funky because a lot of these teams who, us included, we didn't have the Giants. I didn't have the Giants winning more than 7 games. They're gonna definitely probably eclipse that. And,
I'd like to think we're going to win more than 2 more games. I would like to think so.
yeah. I mean, barring a catastrophic injury, I mean, Daniel got hit a couple times in this game. Looked like he was a little sore, but we'll figure it out. I mean, again, he's not going to be let me put this out there about Daniel. He's not going to be a spectacular player. He's not spectacular. He's going to be a work within the offense type of guy. He's never going to throw for like 400 yards on a consistent basis like every other quarterback does in the NFL that's worth their great weight in gold. He's going to do what he needs to do. So when you evaluate this and you come back, don't be alarmed if the Giants do bring a guy in the back end to groom at some point because he's going to price himself off the team when we're bringing in new guys. Remember, if people want to play here, we're going to have to pay them. They're not just going to be like, hey, you know what, Giants, I like you, but this team over here who, the Jets have some money, who are maybe up and coming as well. They put more dollars in my wallet. So we got to be careful. I still want to build through the draft. Still go with the rebuild plan. Make sure you go with it. Don't just sacrifice to sacrifice. Like I don't go get a DJ Moore now because hey, we need a DJ Moore. No, just
No,
wait till the offseason.
I'm on board. Like I said, with going forward with this team, what we got going on right now with this team, these guys are finding ways to get it done. We don't need to be disrupting anything, bringing new guys in, shuffling new pieces in. We don't
Yeah,
need all that right now.
I mean,
Unless
is it nice?
injuries.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course it
sure.
is. Is it nice? Yeah. I mean, but Wandell Robinson showed you that he's capable of running a few routes, getting open. Richie James can get open. The tight end is playing pretty well. I mean, they have a functional offense out there. Can it be better? Yes, everything can be upgraded. Even the only thing I don't think can be upgraded is the running back position. Although I looked at some of these running backs in college, and I'm not saying they're Saquon Barkley, but if you wanted to well, they had a Christmas commercial. But if you wanted to, say, hey, Barkley is going to cost us too much money, look what they did with Brees Hall, right? Brees Hall is playing pretty well for the Jets. They also have Carter. I'm not saying get rid of the guy. I don't. People don't hate me because I'm saying this about Barkley. All I'm saying is the only position I'm not upgrading right now is left tackle, right tackle, and basically running back in terms of the entire offense going forward. So, we'll think about that going forward, but they're all playing well. They believe in the coaching staff. Hats off to Bobby Johnson. We went through 2, 3 freaking offensive line coaches in 2 seasons with Joe Judge. This guy is taking guys that we off the street, John Feliciano, Ben Bredesen, who everybody hated last year, was like, oh, why did we trade for this bum from Baltimore? And making Evan Neal a functioning offensive tackle and offensive line.
Evan Neal is getting better and better each week. By the way, I don't since that Cowboys game, it's like he took that and learned something for real. Like he learned a lesson that night. He got schooled that night against the Cowboys on Monday night, and I've noticed his plays is getting better and better each and every week. Man, he's starting to step up to the task, and we got a set of bookend offensive tackles, man, to go forward with for
And
a
that's
lot
what I
of
mean.
years, man.
That's what I mean financially going forward. This is the type of thing you have to think about when you go to pay your quarterback, your running back, and things like that. You're not going to have money to pay both Evan Neal and Thomas if you're putting in money for a ginormous contract for a quarterback or a ginormous contract for a skill position player, right? Those things tend to happen. That's why I'm saying for the Giants, yes, I like what Daniel's doing. Yeah, yes, I think that he fits within the system. But when you go into these things financially, we got to be careful because once you start to sign players, it goes to 2016 again. And we don't want 2016 to happen where, we eat up all our cap space, with like 4 guys, and then we don't, we're drafting deeper in the draft, so you don't get the pick of the litter of all the great players. Because here we are, and we traded away assets to get a guy like a DJ Moore. So again, we're not replenishing the thing. These good teams keeps the cupboards full. Look at Mike Tomlin with the Steelers. I mean, they bring in a rookie quarterback, and the guys playing within the offense and making them functional. And they just keep doing it. They replace Ben Roethlisberger with a quarterback now who's on his 5th-year option. Who's going to be on his 5th-year option. That team is going to come a long way quickly, right? Because their quarterback is not too many people are getting paid. So just be cognizant of when that happens. I want this rebuild to happen just like you, but I don't want it to happen where we're just patchworking up free agents and then 3 years later we're like, oh, what happened? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I see. I mean, I agree, but this right now, with everything that's going on right now, I just want to worry about that stuff when we get to that point, man.
Right,
Right
right,
now, because
right. I'm
this is
not
just
poo-pooing the win. We're fucking five
yeah.
and 5-1. That's fantastic. We have a season. We're thinking about playoffs now. We're not thinking about the draft. We're thinking about how we're gonna get back into the NFC East race because we're for whatever reason we're still third place you know until
Well,
possibly tonight. If the
I mean,
Cowboys win,
yeah.
Cowboys will be 1. Giants will probably be 2, and the Eagles will be 3 or tied for second in place. However you want to look at it.
Well,
And it
no,
just
yeah. At the top, it depends. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really the tiebreaker stuff. I'll let that worry about that more when the playoff time. Right now, our records is the same. I just go by based off the records right now at this point in the season. I get the tiebreaker stuff when it comes down to the
hey, you
playoff
don't want to get ahead at all.
implications.
Like I'm trying to have fun.
But
We're 5-1, man. We haven't won 5 games this
yeah,
early
but
in a season in years.
I'm looking at it like this: if the Eagles win this game tonight, the Giants will be in second place in this division all by themselves. If the Cowboys win, we'll be in the 3-way tie for first place in this division. That's how I look at it right now, man.
I can't
At
root for
five
either.
and
I
one,
can't
man.
root for either one. So, let's hope there's a hailstorm or something that happens because Lord knows, I am not rooting. I'm rooting for a tie. How about that? Oh my God, the Kansas
That's
City Chiefs
that's
just knocked that guy out.
yeah, that would be ideal for me too. Let them just play to a tie. You know.
I don't really want them to play at all, but let's just skip this game. They've all decided they wanted to boycott this game. Too much we don't want to play in Lincoln Financial. The field turf's terrible. Let's just punt this to next week. Give them a bye week. If that's what you want to do, give them an extra bye. Okay, I don't want to see these two teams play, but here, unfortunately, we do. And you know what's funny? Is I feel like this is like the early to mid '90s for the NFC East right now, where they're the cream of the crop division, right? Where they're getting prominent games at 8 o'clock at night. And the Giants are gonna have some games flex this year. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a booty matchup on Sunday and the Giants play Minnesota, that game gets flexed. If the Colts keep winning and they're in a dogfight race, I wouldn't mind seeing that game get flexed. You know what I'm saying? So this team is going to be in some prime time spot. I don't know if that's good for the Giants because they don't do well in prime time. I mean, their only game on prime time they've lost. So maybe they should keep it as
Right.
that 1 o'clock.
I mean, at this point, I'd rather stay that way because you're right. We have not been having too much success in the prime time, especially one Mr. Daniel Jones. He's had some rough nights in prime time, man. But welcome to the stream, Chia Pets, man. If it's your first time, man, make sure you sub up to myself and Adam right here, man. Adam Costas, Mac the Giants fan, man. I appreciate it, man. Make sure I hit that thumbs up and that thumbs up for the stream too if you liking what we talking about right now, man. 5-1, man. Straight legit fire, like you just said, bro. We are this team right here, man. The New York Giants. Nobody saw this coming. I don't care. Nobody in their right mind saw this coming. I know we got some friends of the channel that have been speaking on this 11-6 thing, but I think in their true heart of hearts, they didn't truly see it coming
he
like this.
the person you're talking about, he will not say he's a God fearing man, but he will not give you that one. I will tell you that for a fact. He'll say, I've been saying 11-6. I mean, he's been saying 11-6 for the last 2 years. You're bound to be right one time, right? But that's what I mean. He's not going to say, yeah, well, I didn't predict it. He believed in 11-6. And, kudos to Lou and G Nation for, having the moxie to stay with it, just like I'm staying with my prediction of getting an upgrade. I he's going to stay with his, and I think, I talk to a lot of people, and we go back and forth and have conversations about everything, and I like to think outside the box. I move on to the next game, next thing like that. But when you start to think at 5-1, and you look around the league, you got to start to believe that there's a chance for you to maybe go on a run here, barring an injury, barring a thing. And what's funny to me is for a coach in Dayball, I look around, there's a lot of rookie coaches that are making mistakes, and this guy seems to be pushing all the right buttons. I don't know what it is. I don't know when he's going to have a slump, because all coaches go through kind of like a, growing pain, or they kind of figure you out. I don't know when that's going to happen, but man, he's pressing all the right buttons, saying all the right things, and putting his guys in the position every week.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Daniel Tilson, man, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I definitely did. I mean, like I said, I didn't. Especially at this point. At this point, I believe I had the Giants at about, I think 3-3 actually, about 500 on my original predictions, schedule predictions. I
Yeah.
had us at about 500 at this point at 3-3.
Well, that's why you throw
So
schedules out the window, right? Scheduling and predicting, because right now we both look like we got egg on our face. You're Giant fans, you don't believe in your own team, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Coaching matters in the NFL. It really does. Our coach got outcoached every week, running 39 plays in the middle of your own end zone, rambling on about why you're losing to teams. This guy is succinct. He went down the roster. He looked at guys' strengths. He looked at guys' weaknesses, and he plays the guys' strengths. And that gives people
yeah,
confidence because your players then look at that and say, well, look what they're doing. Look what this coach is doing. They're doing the best for me. They're making the best decisions for the team, and that's contagious. And then winning helps cure a lot of things, right? Like, hey, whatever we're doing, let's keep doing a lot of things. Like right now, we could nitpick about the game that we had. Like technically, like I said, if they lose that game, we're probably saying that we could upgrade at quarterback, but we're not, because they won the football game. So we don't need to nitpick about those things. So you can really mask a lot of things, and the Giants can really figure it out. I know I'm excited. I don't know. I'm just rambling because I'm so excited.
yeah. I mean, like you said, like Daniel Tilson just said here in chat, we got a coach finally. That's like he's the real MVP. I know we're putting a lot on Saquon Barkley and everything the season he's been
Well, he's going to be
having,
coach of the year if
and
we go to the
but
playoffs.
But Brian Dable is the real MVP here for the New York Football Giants. He is by far the biggest offseason acquisition for the New York Football Giants, and he has made quite the difference, man. He has put his imprint on this team, and this team is just responding, man, in a very, very positive way. We lack so much talent, man, comparison around the league to so many of these teams. But right now, I feel like put us out there against absolutely anyone, and we're ready for you, man. We're gonna give you our best shot,
Everything,
and
everything.
and you're going to have to earn it. Everything you get against the New York
Damn,
Giants, everything we got it defensively. I would like to see us get better in between the 20s, but we do clamp down in that red zone, and that's
that run
also a good.
defense is atrocious.
Yeah, good. That's good. Yeah, that needs to definitely get better.
We are atrocious. It has been league city down there, and I don't know again if that's philosophy or whatnot, but thankfully, a lot of these teams haven't been gashing us. It gashed us a little bit today, and that's why I thought Baltimore. Sometimes I think the Giants are doing what other teams used to do to the Giants. It's you've got to play perfect, otherwise we're gonna capitalize on your mistakes. And then the Giants, on the other hand, they're not in their own head. What I mean by that is they don't necessarily play perfect, but they just play within the confines of the offense. Negative plays, they're like, all right, we're just gonna keep grinding and keep figuring it out. And if we get the first down, great. If not, we'll punt. That's not a bad thing. Last year, I feel like and it started with the coach, and you can see it in the quarterback is that they try to play hero ball a lot. Do things without over their element. Yeah, the team was trash, but if we put Brian Daboll on that team last year, we have a better result going forward than we do this year. You know what I mean? And we're playing with some of the same players. Lack of offense. Last year we had Kenny Galladay for a few games. We haven't had that guy play at all, right? So the fact that we're winning with these lack of talent, with these booty ass players that we got, it's refreshing.
I mean, like for instance, say Joe Judge is still our coach with this exact same roster. How do
We're
you
one
see
and five.
1-5?
We're
I'd
one
say
and
yeah.
five because I
I'd
just
say
don't
yeah,
think.
maybe at
Well,
best
think
one and
about that.
five.
Are you saying the same staff? The same staff, right?
Yeah, Joe Judge
Like
is
and Patrick Graham as well, like the
yeah his
same.
crew. Joe Judge and his crew.
Yes. So let's give them all the same players for this. Like let's do the same offensive acquisitions. Let's say they hired Shane but couldn't get Dable because Dable decided he wanted to go to South Beach, right? Like I want to go down to Miami. My wife wants me to go down there, right? So they end up with Joe Judge or keep it going. I don't think you're seeing the same effort. I think first off, the quarterback would be destroyed. He would be absolutely destroyed because they would not be playing the offense that they're playing here. And that offense is, let's get him out, let's move him around, let's not make it so hard for him to go through his progressions. The other thing is defensively, yes, they played well, but like you said, we play inside the 20s. This defense last year wouldn't have stopped the nosebleed. So Lamar Jackson would have went right down the field and scored a big touchdown. That's what happened. 2 back-to-back weeks, the defense has come up with big plays. 2 of the biggest plays in recent memory with the tip ball with Aaron Rodgers and a sack fumble. Actually, a lot of plays. They did that with a lot of people. They did that in another game. Zimenez had a sack fumble against somebody else. So that seems to be the trend going forward with this defense. That's what we want to see. Last year's defense, inside 2 minutes on both halves, lead's gone. Lead's gone. Bye bye. 1 minute and 45 seconds. That'd be an eternity. You know what happened last year? Ravens went down and had the ball at the 1 yard line and then score a walk-off touchdown, and that would have been the game. That's how it would have ended.
I couldn't agree more, man. Like I said, this team just is a different desire here, man. Like it's just, like I said, and winning gets
Juju.
contagious, man. So winning is contagious. So these guys, they just keep. I mean, like I said, obviously they're enjoying it. Hey, what's going on, Earl, in the chat, man? Thanks for
Juju
stopping in.
Smith-Schuster with a big touchdown. Mahomes. This is why Mahomes is Mahomes. And this is why I tell people about, Daniel plays the position. He's average. He's an average quarterback. That's what he is. And that's not a bad thing to say. That's just what he is. Will they upgrade? I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But look what Mahomes does in this play. I don't know if you guys are watching. He moved to the left, he moved to the right, found Juju Smith-Schuster, throws the ball to Juju, who spins out of a tackle and goes up the field for a touchdown. Incredible play.
I mean, that's what you're gonna get from from the Patrick Mahomes of the world. Like
Oh
you
my
said,
God.
I think we do definitely all agree. Daniel Jones is not
Well, the thing
in the
is, like,
Patrick Mahomes conversation.
even Lamar Jackson up until those boneheaded plays was outplaying him and looking like hey, this is what we want. Like if I'm telling you, I looked at the Giants and I looked at the Ravens and I'm like, man, if we had number 8 on our side right now, we not only would we be 5-1, but he'd be playing this MVP like season as well. It's not like you take him out and because they have nobody, like they have no receivers. Somebody brought it up best. Like these guys they're playing with on that end, they have Mark Andrews and a bunch of nobodies. So the fact that they, can move the football downfield is a testament to their guy. So
Well, they
it's
really
exciting
use
to
those tight
watch.
ends today. They use that trio of tight ends they got, man, and that
Oh
they were
my
making
God.
some plays for
Did
them.
they? Did they ever? Some guy I don't even hear about. He's catching passes out of the sky. One arm looks like the guy's unathletic, yet he's making catch after catch.
Thanks a lot, man.
Mark Andrews, he looked a little out of his game a little bit. I think them bodying him up did wonders for it. But he still hurt us in the game. Had over 100 yards and a touch. And I think you're starting to see the cracks in the defense at where they can be beaten. Run the football. If they have a tight end, I'm not worried about Evan Ingram. He's a bum. But if they have a tight end, use the streak down the middle and play methodical and score touchdowns. Because if you score field goals, which the Giants defense has held a lot of these teams to, you're not going to win the football game. If you score touchdowns, the game is going to be over. Giants, if Baltimore scored 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals, game's over. It's
I know.
probably a different ball game, but they didn't, and it's like you said. Somehow, like you look at the Ravens offense, he had 146 yards passing in the game. So they not only passed all over the field, they ran all over the field, and yet somehow we win these games.
But like that you said, we're coming up with Jacksonville this week. One thing to look forward to in that game, I think, is the pass rush. I think this is a game where we can really make a difference with the pass rush. Just because Trevor Lawrence still a young player in the league, he's not quite as savvy. May not avoid those that rush, those blitzes, the same way some of these other more seasoned quarterbacks that we've played against so far this
Yeah.
season, have been. So, and he's not like the
Well,
athlete like a Justin Fields. I mean, he's a good athlete. Don't get him twisted. I know he can
he's
move
like in the
around.
Daniel Jones class.
He's not a statue, but he can. Yeah, he's not at the same time. He's not Lamar Jackson or like a Justin Fields with the a threat like that kind of a threat to run with the football. So I think
Well,
there's a
they're a
possibility we
dogfight
could see a
team. It's going to be
big
a
day.
dogfight. It's going to be a
Oh yeah,
dogfight.
I think we could see a big day from our pass rushers. Though I think they have a really good opportunity next
Well, they
week
do run
to
the
really
football
make some
well.
plays.
And that's what I'm worried about. Travis Etienne, solid running back. They ran the football well against Indianapolis. They're an up and coming team, like you said, and this is where you got to eat. Start eating now. Start stacking these victories because you just want to get to the playoffs, and when you get there, who knows what happens, right? Maybe you're holding the Lombardi at the end of the year. Now that would be one of the most epic runs in the history of the NFL, but in this parity-driven league, you gotta think that. I mean, that's why I told you guys at the beginning of the year. The NFC East has the weakest schedule, right? It's not your fault who you play, right? That's who it happens. You take care of business against who you take care of business against, and the Giants are taking care of their business, and they just got to keep minding their business, not worrying about the other teams. And when they go see the Cowboys and go see the Eagles, figure it out because
Well,
those are your roadblocks right now.
the thing about the week schedule thing, though, to me is I kind of thought the way this season's been playing, I would kind of like throw it out the window anyway because the parity around this league this season. I mean, like you said, today alone, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers beating Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know how many people probably went out in those suicide pools or whatever they call them, those pools? They probably
Survivor pools, yes.
survivor pools took the Bucks today as a slam dunk. You know what I mean? Lock of the week. I think a lot of people did that. And Pittsburgh knocking them off. It's a lot of parity in this league this year, man. It's a lot going on. Atlanta Falcons playing above the numbers.
The
I mean,
Ram, the
it's
Rams. I mean, the Rams are losing right
Super
now.
Bowl
So,
champions, yeah, looking not so Super Bowl like. It's just
well,
it's
that's what I'm saying, Mac. It changes week to week and year to year. But at the end of the day, when you have look at the Buffalo Bills, right? They're coming out, and right now they're getting their lunch handed to them a little bit with Kansas City. I think the energy and emotion has gotten to them in the first quarter. They were making some mistakes, but they did it the right way. They made the right choices. They did the right things, and here they are. And every year they're going to be solid because they're going to draft well. They are coached well, and that's a big thing. We weren't coached well, so I know a lot of because you got to look at it like this. A lot of these players, O'Shea and Jimenez, we had this guy left for dead on the roster. Like, get out of here! I don't care if the door hits you on the way out. He has been playing actually pretty well. I got to give it to him. He's played above what we've seen him play in the recent years. And that's what I mean. That's what I mean by coaching. And that's why I think the Giants needed it more because if they had some of the players, if you put Brian Dable on this team, I just think they win more games. It may not be pretty, we may not win more than 7 or 8, but they're winning more games than they are now. This team just Everybody is contributing, even the rookie. Rookie makes a mistake against Khalil Campbell, didn't make a mistake the rest of the game, right?
You said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I apologize.
I said Khalil Campbell beats Josh Azudu, and then they go back in there and they shore it up. They make adjustments on the sideline. They don't just wait until halftime. I think they make
Yeah,
adjustments right away. Then halftime, what it seems like is they have two game plans. It almost seems like going in right. Here's game plan one. We'll see what works, and then if game plan one works, we'll continue. If we come to halftime and we want to try game plan two, that's what they do. I mean, we're the best second half team in football.
absolutely, we are. That's 1,000% facts right there. What we do in the third and fourth quarters of football games have been absolutely tremendous all season, man. Nobody seems to have an answer for us late in football games. So yeah, this is just I don't know. This team is so damn scrappy, man.
It's
I'm
fun to
such a
watch
happy
finally.
Such a happy New York Giants fan again, man. I mean, I'm just like a little kid at Christmas again, man. Like this team here, man.
Because they're giving you something to root
Every
for. They're
week,
giving you something to root for.
every
You're getting something to root for. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist. I'm watching Josh Allen right now have the collapse it literally collapse on him, make throws, and get slammed to the ground. I mean, this is what I'm telling you. These guys do it. They make it work. This is what you're watching playoff worthy football in the middle of the season. And the Giants are scrappy, like you said, and that's going to come in handy down the road. That's going to come in handy. Again, with their schedule, they're probably going to win, 12 games with the way the schedule's going. 10 at the very least, I think.
I mean,
Maybe they slip
where it's
up
going
here
to
and
get
there.
interesting. Where it's going to get interesting is down the stretch. We got a stretch of like four straight division games. That could just completely turn this whole season upside down, depending on how things go with those games, man. I believe
Right.
we got like the Washington within two times within like a 3 week time period or something like that, and Cowboys and on Thanksgiving got the Eagles in the mix there. So
You have
it's
the
like
Vikings, you have the Vikings Colts, right? So there's going to be some tough games down the stretch. We can handle it, like I said, but they're not going to be easy. Right? There's not going to be any cakewalks. Like I said, the more you keep winning, the more of a your bullseye gets bigger. And people are going to start to say, hey, you know what? It wasn't an easy game for us on the schedule. Now we got to actually play hard 4 quarters. We got to convert our red zone opportunities, not make mistakes. And teams are going to have that pressure, and the Giants are going to have the same pressure as well. Daniel, he had a sack fumble. I'm not going to blame him, but that was back to back weeks where he's had a sack fumble, in two games. So we need to clean that up. We need to clean up the throws where he's missing guys open. You gotta make some of these throws. That changes ball games. You don't want to keep teams in it. Giants lucked out the last 2 weeks because their defense came through, but sometimes their defense may not have the equation, and it's just you just got to keep playing hard and finding a way.
I mean, I definitely agree, man. Like you said, this is definitely another great victory this week, man. But like you said, you guys man, you gotta bring up the things that need to get cleaned up, and that definitely always things that need to get. That's why I'm loving the team because we're not. I don't feel like we're getting cocky. We just we're just confident. We're getting the
Well, they're
confidence
trusting the
together, but
process.
we're not. Yeah, we're not overly cocky. Like I don't believe this team is going to go into Jacksonville next week feeling like all we gotta do is show up. I believe this team is going to go into Jacksonville and understand they're going to have another fight on their hands with a pretty upstart, resurgent Jacksonville team as well.
That
So
defense is pretty good. I mean, it's not like great defense, but they were all over Matt Ryan. This game, making him
yeah,
hurry throws. I mean, Matt Ryan threw for over 300 yards, but again, they're going to be relentless. Like I said to you, teams are going to give you their best. That's what they're going to do. They're going to be a bullseye on your back. And let's be honest, Jacksonville lost by a touchdown to a divisional opponent. They're looking for a win, looking for a W, and they're going to be at home in their building. And it's going to be one of those things where we're just going to have to not overlook them because this is what I'm telling you. Don't slip up on these teams. Seattle, Houston, Detroit, beat them so that when you get to your 9 to 10 victories early, so that when the stretch when the stretch run does happen, and maybe you drop a game to the Vikings or you drop a game to the Eagles and or the Cowboys, you're not like, oh, it's going to end your season, right? You win these games now, that there won't be it won't be anything other than you trying to get in the playoffs and teams playing their best to get in. It won't be a wreck your season type thing. You lose to Jacksonville, you lose to Seattle, and then you lose to a couple of these teams down the stretch. We can go from being a 5-1 team to a 5-5 team. We're out of the playoffs real quick. So just keep stacking.
Yeah, you just said that best. Real quick, Daniel Tilson, thanks for stopping in, man. Really appreciate the support, man. And make sure you hit that thumbs up. You already said you hit the thumbs up, so I definitely appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe too, man. I really would appreciate it, brother. We do this every week after following each and every single game, man. After every Giant game, we do this aftermath stream. But you just said it best. Like you said, this is a stretch of games now that becomes actually very important for the New York Giants because these are games that now, based off what we've seen from this football team this season, we got to be able to take care of these next few opponents here. The Jacksonvilles, the Seattles, the Detroits of the world, Houstons. We got to be able to take care of teams like this at this point now and really handle our business before we get into that really, really tough stretch of the schedule later on in the year in November and December when those games are going to be like
Because
brutal games. Like I said, all those division games, like you said, Minnesota's, the Colts, teams like that we're going to
let's
be
play it
dealing with
hypothetically here,
late
right?
in the season.
Play hypothetical. The teams are basically ready to go in the playoffs, right? You've got your 4 division winners. Let's just, for lack of argument's sake, here we play this game with me. So the 4 division winners get in. Now there's 3 wild card teams, right? The 49ers have the same record or close to the same record. The Vikings have the same record or close to the same record. And go down the list, the Vikings are winning. So let's just use Green Bay, right? Green Bay comes back and rights the ship. You don't want to lose the games where you're going to miss the playoffs and win 9 games. You want to be able to fight to get in because it's going to come down to the division at the end of it, right? Like, to me, if the Cowboys win this game, it's going to be a dogfight to the end for the division. And that means your only way in is going to be the wild card. So establish early so that if things do happen and you stumble out the gate, right, you don't have to worry about, now we got to win this game. It's like, no, we have some wiggle room that, if we happen to stumble, we're not panicking and fretting and putting more pressure on us to keep winning,
I agree, man. Well, I'm about ready to wrap this one up, this week 6 edition of the Aftermath up, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of this Buffalo and Kansas City football
Well,
game,
thanks
man.
for having me again, Mac. I know I don't mean to
always, brother.
steal your show,
man.
your thunder. You do this by yourself. This is one of your things, your babies. I appreciate coming on. I support you. You're my co-host.
Always doing this with somebody else, man. This is always fun, man.
Yeah, and I know we have our show that we'll talk more about the rest of this NFC East, but I appreciate you letting me have on. You're my guy. Even if I wasn't on, I'd be in the chat blowing your phone up saying, "Way to go, we're 5-1." But here we are. It's a lot better to talk about a team that's winning, that's for sure, than a team that's losing and everyone's fighting amongst each other. And right now, it's like, hey, listen, I'll say, like I said, I'm going to be who I am. I'm always going to look at the negatives because you can't overlook them in a win. You always got to bring those up because those are things you got to work on. But I'm always also happy that the season's not over come mid-October. So that's great.
That's right, man. And make sure y'all tune in on Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern with me and my guy right here, Adam Costas, for the real deal NFC East Roundup. We talk about everything NFC East and that on Wednesdays, man, breaking down the whole entire division. But once again, thanks for coming through for another edition of the Aftermath, True Blue Aftermath. The New York Giants, 5-1, baby. Nobody saw it coming, but it's here. It's that reality, man.
We are for real.
Most definitely. So that's it for the week 6 edition, man. Peace. I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, MacDaGiantsFan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at MacDaGiantsFan. That's MacDA Giants Fan.